Activity 4, Schools Emergency Management System by Kristen Herring. EDLD 5413, Building Leadership Internship under the direction of Dr. Kimberly Wilkerson. The Activity 4 Schools Emergency Management System aligns to the standard Psel Standard 5. Effective educational leaders cultivate an inclusive, caring, and supportive school community that promotes the academic success and well-being of each student. Standard 5 sets the standard for the provision of care for students. Educational leaders are responsible for the care of students, protecting all from harm, and nurturing and sustaining an atmosphere that is secure, in good condition, and attentive to all the needs of students. NPBEA 2015. To meet this standard, school administrators are to create an emergency response plan that correlates to the district guidelines and the DESE emergency response drills. It's also important to note that DESE may release a memo to update what they are expecting each year. Like this year, I found a memo that was released by them for the 2021-2022 school year due to COVID. It is also important that school administrators review and update the plan yearly. The process for completing Activity 4 that I took included 23 hours and 5 minutes. I began with meetings with Dr. Kimberly Truslow, the principal of Oak Brook Elementary. Together, we walked the building with the evacuation map in hand, and she noted the doors that would shut automatically when the alarm sounds. She noted the exit doors for each grade and where the pre-K and first grade would line up outside, as well as the 2nd through 5th grade, where they would line up outside. We discussed PCSSD and Oak Brook Elementary crisis plans and the updates that she made for this year. We reviewed required forms and reporting to the district and state. I received the transportation contact information so that I could obtain the information about school bus evacuations. I was introduced to the staff, and we discussed the lockdown drill details from the fall lockdown drill because there is only one required each year. After the meetings, I examined the PSEL standards for alignment to the school's emergency management system. I researched and reviewed the DESE emergency response drill information and the memo that DESE sent out for 2021-2022. I reviewed the PCSSD and Oak Brook Elementary crisis response plans, and I was able to ensure that they are correlated. I planned and carried out fire and tornado drills. I submitted fire drill and inspection reports to the safety and security specialist. I submitted the tornado drill and inspection report to the safety and security specialist. I input the information for the fire and tornado drills into the safety drill 2021-2022 spreadsheet for state reporting. I had a phone meeting with Charles Anderson to discuss the bus evacuation procedures and fall drills for Oak Brook Elementary. I analyzed readings, discussions, and experiences to formulate a plan for how I would create a school crisis plan and develop 4 recommendations for Oak Brook Elementary. I reflected on this experience and took notes on all of the reading. I wrote a paper and created the PowerPoint and video presentation. The knowledge that I gained through completion of Activity 4. As an educational leader, I will have to ensure the needs of students are met while providing a safe atmosphere. I'll need a well thought out crisis plan that correlates to the district and state guidelines. I will lead in monthly fire drills and tornado drills, and those fire drills will include a local police department. I will plan annual lockdown drills. Biannual bus evacuations will be held. DESE and district guidelines will need to be reviewed yearly, and the school's plan will need to be updated. It's important to check on the emotional well-being of students after drills. Teacher input is important to prevent missing something that one of them may notice. More adults on campus will need to be trained in active shooter situations. Emergency safety buckets are a great idea for crisis situations, but they do need to be updated yearly through a check-in and check-out policy. It is important to think about what-if situations, such as what should a student do that's locked out of a safe room during a lockdown? Guidelines for fire and tornado drills need to be reviewed with faculty and staff at the beginning of each semester, just to give them some reminders. One note was that there was a door that should automatically shut when the alarms sound, but a cart had been pushed in front of it and it wouldn't close, so Dr. Truslow and I had to remove the cart on our way out as we exited the building so that the door would shut. And rational decision making is very difficult when in a crisis, so it's good to plan ahead. Application of new knowledge, how I will apply the knowledge that I received. I will check for updates to the DESE drill requirements. I will survey faculty and staff at the beginning of and end of each school year to gain their thoughts on the crisis plan and drills. I will plan crisis what-if scenarios that we can practice during faculty meetings, and that will give time for our faculty to collaborate and prepare for different types of situations in order to reduce fear and irrational decision making. I will request that the faculty and staff be trained in active shooter situations so that when the principal and other persons that are trained are out of the building, everyone else is prepared as well. Create a system for checking on the well-being of our students after drills, and I will review the guidelines for drills periodically so that they are not forgotten. And that will be done with the staff just as reminders of things they need to remember. In my reflection, I learned that as an educational leader, the safety and security of everyone in the building would fall upon me. It is crucial that the adults on campus are prepared to respond quickly and rationally if a crisis occurs. Practice will be important to ensure teachers and students know what is expected and remember what they are to do. The use of the orange folder, which is what Oak Brook Elementary calls their emergency folder, will assist teachers in remembering details that they may forget along the way during a crisis. Documentation of each drill is required and monitored by the district and state, and teacher input will be used when creating an emergency crisis plan.